Hi, I'm Eric. I found my phone and welcome to another video. Today we're getting back into Kate Bush. It's been a minute. And yeah, it just has been a minute since I've done a Kate Bush reaction. And I think it's time. I think I've gotten to take some time away from her just to get myself reacquainted with other music and just listening to very new, exciting things. Not that Kate Bush is not exciting. And the material is not new, but it is new to me. But today I wanted to get back into her with The Sensual World, which is her first album that came out following Hounds of Love, which seems like is her most critically acclaimed one, the one that everyone absolutely adores. So I want to see what happens after that giant success happens. I don't know if it was even a big success at the time, but it is, I know, the big success now. So I'm just curious to see what she has in store. I'm excited to get into some music that I'm going to be looking up some lyrics for and really just diving into what these songs really have to offer. I also did a tiny bit of research just knowing that this album was also made in her home studio, as well as that these songs don't connect together in the same way that the Ninth Wave did on Hounds of Love, or in the way on Hounds of Love where there's 2 different sections. That's not the case here. Apparently these are just 10 different stories that are all their own thing, and I'm very excited to see what these stories are, because Kate Bush, she's a storyteller and she has some very, very, very interesting stories. So let's not delay. Thank you for requesting this video in any way. Let's get into it. Track number 1, The Sensual World, the album title. Oh, sounds like church bells. Oh, it all came in suddenly. Heading into the flesh. Women's bodies? What is this? Into the Sensual World, or is this a lovemaking song? Do I look for those millionaires? These horns, I think they are. They sound so, like, Middle Ages. First put the charm around him? Sit between my breath? Yes. So that was The Sensual World, and ooh, it's Kate Bush again. Yes. This song is apparently heavily inspired by Molly Bloom stepping out of the pages of James Joyce's Ulysses into the real world and being struck by how there's so much sensuality in it. Big time sensuality. I have not read that book. I have not seen that film. I heard it's good. I always think that they're always talking about the Odyssey, and that's just the Latin translation of the Odyssey, because Odysseus, the main character in that epic, is translated to Ulysses in the Latin. So I always think of them as the same thing, but I know they are definitely not the same thing at all. But yes, they're talking a little bit about a steamy encounter, but also taking stuff out of basically the final parts of that film where that scene of her coming out into the real world happens. Sorry to spoil the movie Ulysses. I didn't even know what the movie was about. And I still actually don't know what the movie's about, but I just know that's how it ends now. So I guess that's good to know. Sonically, I enjoyed it. It definitely is one that has a lot going on all at once, so we'll have to see how it feels. I find it interesting, however, that we use that as the title track, which The Sensual World is talking about our world. So all these stories are coming out of potentially our world, or in relationship to our world, which is an interesting title that intrigues me. Track number 2 is Love and Anger. This feels like a jazzier version of Morning Fog. Tell you what I'm feeling. You come walking into this room. Wake up. And you tell it to your heart. Take away the love and the anger. This is giving a little bit Big Sky energy too. Ooh, got some background vocals there. Ooh, humming. Yeah! So that was Love and Anger, and I feel like I zoned out and like, oh, I'm just vibing to the song and enjoying it. Yeah. I got hit with a wave of exhaustion too. But no, I actually really like this song. It gave me that Big Sky energy, which is one of my favorites off of Hounds of Love. It gave me single energy. And apparently, this song topped the US Billboard Modern Rock charts. I think that's what the chart was called. But that's the only chart topper she's had in the US on any US chart, which is wild. So now we have it here. And it's definitely not the favorite on the album, but it is a song I already really like. And I will like it more. I think I just was enjoying it, reminding myself that I'm seeing Taylor Swift in 2 days. Just, it's been a busy week. I met my favorite band 2 days ago as well. So it's been a pretty busy week. And I was just enjoying this song. Like, it was just a good song to, like, I don't know, jam out to. I mean, I wasn't really dancing, so there's not really much in that case, but I just enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, this song is about how if you are just trying to survive on hope alone in a relationship, that's not going to really help you that much. You have to have your stone and timber. You can't just have the rope holding it together. The stone being the rock solid stuff. The timber, it can get lit in flame. I can see that as either it being that you need to have passion in your relationship, or that is something that could be a detriment to your relationship. And so despite having that passion negatively impacting your relationship, you have a solid foundation. I don't really know exactly, but this seems a little less tied to a specific story. And I tend to like those a little bit more from her. I do like some of her stories. The Ninth Wave is a masterclass in that. But if I'm thinking which songs I like the best from her and like I give a lot more replay to, it's Hounds of Love title track, The Big Sky, Running Up That Hill, Violin, Sat in Your Lap. Get Out of My House does have a little more of a story to it. But even still, like, it feels like it's related more to Kate Bush as a person rather than the storytelling. I do like the storytelling, like Night of the Swallow. So good. And she's a master storyteller. But I think the ones that I replay more are a little less tied to it. So I'm excited about this one because I can see it being something for me to listen to a lot more in the near future. Track number 3 is The Fog. You had The Morning Fog last album. You're going to have just The Fog? Not Morning. All right. Oh. Sounded like an alarm for a second. I'm all grown up now?
Just put your feet down, child.
Just put your feet down, child. Whose man's is this? Oh, it's string swell. Okay. This boat is big enough for the both of us. Oh, bird sounds? This is a very atmospheric track. I can't wait to hear it in headphones. I feel like this has to do with Peter Pan. Probably because of the grown up now line. Swim to Me. So that was The Fog, and that was a track that was hard to continue sticking with because of how atmospheric and ambient it is. I felt like I was listening to something from a film score rather than a song that I should be paying attention to a bunch of lyrics and changes. There wasn't a ton of changes. It felt like it really just moved throughout. Yeah, it was definitely a moving type vibe. It was foggy. It was actually pretty accurate for that. The man in question is Kate's father. All right then. Good on her for having her dad there. What's that like? But it actually makes a lot of sense why she has her father on this. And that's because the song is about growing up and being afraid of doing things independently. That if he lets go of you in the water, that you won't be able to swim. But the thing is that the water here is only waist high, and you're an adult now, you're all grown up now, you can touch the bottom. You'll be okay. So I think she's speaking to that fear of, if I let go of you, as in a parent, that I won't be able to do well on my own. And I think that actually is relevant to me at this point. I mean, Kate Bush, she's probably, probably in her early 30s at this time, right? I'm just trying to get in the headspace of her. Probably, right? Because she started, her first few albums were late teens. So this was distinctly at least 10 years later. So yeah, late 20s, early 30s. So she definitely is all grown up now at that point. But as someone who's a 20-something myself, yeah, you have that sense of like, oh, I am all grown up now. But there are things that are just terrifying at the same time. For example, anything with credit card info, utility bills, most of that stuff, I front that to my mom. I very much am like, please handle this. I don't know what I'm doing. I am just trying my best. And yeah, she takes care of me. Both of my moms take care of me. There are certain things that even as you get older that feel better when you have your parents backing you on it. And yeah, happy belated Mother's Day. By the time this video comes out, it's going to be probably close to Father's Day. But I guess happy Father's Day if you celebrate. I don't, but happy belated Mother's Day to all of those who celebrate, which I definitely do. This song will definitely need some time to grow with me because I definitely need to hear it in headphones. I also just need to let it wash over me, but like also just feel all the components at once. I think that will be better for me and my appreciation of this song. And I think I also was pretty right on the Peter Pan thing. Not that she mentions it, but just that she's always fascinated by the concepts of growing up or not growing up and how important it is to her that people express their youth or their youthful energy and their whimsicality and their abstract ideas, but also with the realities or the fears of growing up as well. So I think it makes sense within her discography. This is obviously the most recent album that I have heard from her. I know there's more after this, and let me know if you want me to react to those. But yeah, I feel like this is a song that could be more relatable to me than maybe some of the others just because of where I'm at in my life and where she is at when she has published the song. Track number 4 is Reaching Out. I love this piano, but I have no idea what she's saying. Oh, I love those background vocals. I don't know what we're reaching out for, but I love these vocals. She's incredible with them. This is melodramatic in a glorious way. Twinkly. So that was Reaching Out, and that was a song that was deceptively sad. Okay, so this song, first of all, her vocals for Reaching Out for the... Like, I can't even replicate them. Dang, did that sound that bad? Yikes. But, no, I can't replicate those vocals. They're very amazing, lovely, wonderful, very appealing. Yes, this song is about how we are reaching out for the care that we want, even if it's through the wrong sources or sources that we think are good, but maybe might not be. She says, reaching out for the hand that smacked, and you're reaching out for that hand to hold. That's a toxic relationship or toxic parenting or whatever it is. She says reaching out for mama. So she starts it a lot with the motherhood idea, which I think kind of goes with the previous song with the fog, how you're reaching out and you want to hold on to your parent and feel a little bit tethered, a little bit. It makes you feel a lot safer than the independence of it. But here we see where those problems might be. Now, when the flower reaches out to face the sun, that generally is healthy because the sun, well, I guess the sun can harm the plant. It can make it wither away and get it too dried out. But it also needs the sunlight for photosynthesis. So it's kind of rocking a hard place there. I think she really is touching on this innate human desire or even living desire to reach out. We are inherently social and we want love and attention and affection and care. And sometimes we look for that in the wrong places or put that responsibilities on the wrong people or the wrong entities. And that's something that we might learn or grow from, or maybe we don't. But it's definitely a good observation. And I like this song, even though it can be a little darker and a little moodier in its messaging. The song, sonically, is very, very enjoyable and just like sonically making a masterpiece in my mind. Track number 5 is Heads Were Dancing. Is this about like a coin toss? Like heads were dancing? I have no idea what it would be otherwise. Oh! Girl, what? It is jumping out. You talked me into the game of chance. Oh, heads were dance. Yep, it is a coin toss. I didn't know who you were. This is a line. Oh, this is coming interesting through my speaker. It's a lot happening at once. They say the devil was a charming man. I bet he can dance. Okay. Do. Hey. Standing with your head held high. Oh, this is a confident person. Oh, we're doing a little breakdown with the do-to-dos. That's fading on a very soft ending. So those heads were dancing. See, the reason why it's good to look up a Kate Bush song lyrics is because sometimes you think something's just like a fun little song, and then you realize it's not. Oh my gosh, she really just had to go into a full story mode with this one. So in case you don't know, which I feel like most people who watch my videos on Kate Bush in particular, like, they know Kate Bush albums. Y'all know Kate Bush albums. This song is about, you know, a stranger, this man, this, in theory, alluring man, stepping out and asking her to dance. And if it lands on heads, we're going to dance. And it looked like it was going to be tails, but it ended up being heads. And so they danced. And then she saw the morning paper, and she realized that she was dancing with Hitler. How are you expecting me to bop to this song now? How? I don't even know how you would bop to it in 1989. Like, probably a third of the people that were alive at that point. Well, baby boomers are a big generation. I don't know, like a quarter of the people alive would have remembered Hitler. And, like, we don't need to name every bad thing that he's done, but he's done a lot of bad things. I think that is the most cancelable figure that I can think of. But especially in today's day and age with the rise of anti-Semitism, stop being anti-Semitic. If you are perpetuating hate against Jewish people or any other group of people, reconsider. Get some help. Like, seriously, I just don't understand why we haven't reached the point of deeply respecting and caring for anyone. I just don't understand that. Back to the song. I now understand why it doesn't have like a ton of streams in comparison to other songs, because you think, oh, this is a fun dance song. Like, I love this song sonically. It's great. I love it. But I don't see how I can, in good conscience, listen to it. I can't bop to a song that's about her dancing with Hitler. I simply cannot do that. That feels wrong, and I don't know why Kate Bush did that. I think it's a little quirky for her to do that, but I feel like it's quirky in a way that just has not aged well into the 2020s. Track number 6 is Deeper Understanding. Okay, we still have some more 80s sounds. Program she ordered from a magazine. Press execute. I've never felt such pleasure. Did not eat, I didn't sleep. Girl, what are you doing? My family found me and intervened. Oh, girl, what are you doing in this song? I turned to my computer. Like a friend? Girl, how big was the computer? Ooh, I love these vocals here. They don't sound like Kate, though. Collection voice is muffled in the background. So was Deeper Understanding. This was In part inspired by Stephen Hawking, rest in peace. But after reading the lyrics, I actually don't really know how it's about Stephen Hawking, except for the searching for deeper understanding in the universe and that sense. But I feel like this song, in comparison to the last one, but also in comparison to all the other tracks on the album, maybe in its messaging has aged the best. Maybe. I would say, yeah, no, I think this aged quite nicely in the fact of turning to your little black box or your computer for connection and deeper understanding. And I feel like that's what we are doing these days while constantly online. I am thankfully a little less online than I feel like some other people around me are, but it is something that is very readily apparent. I think the pandemic really added to that, but I think we do so much work on the internet. I am sometimes thinking to myself, I should work from home more because my internet connection is more stable here and I have more things to get done. It's weird to think like that because do I enjoy more of my work remotely or in person? Well, sometimes socially speaking, I do like my alone time. However, I would say that the events that we put on and the things that we do in person, especially in collaboration with each other, is a lot more fulfilling. And I think this idea of treating your technology like a friend, 1989, really? Honestly impressive. This could be about Hawking. It could also be a little bit about herself and that she's using this software to create a lot of this album. I believe this is entirely fully produced as well as written and sung by Kate, which is really cool, really incredible work that she is doing on that. I'm sincerely impressed, especially doing that within 4 years from your previous project and doing it very well, I would argue. Yeah, this is a very interesting track. I think it does bring up the issue of how overbearing and omnipresent technology and the internet is in today's age. Now, she's not necessarily talking about internet. She's talking about a program she ordered in a magazine. So some things have changed. But the idea of a dependency on technology in our society in order to feel some sense of community is more relevant than it was all those years ago. Track number 7, Between a Man and a Woman. I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping it's a progressive take, but we'll see. Oh, we just jumped right in. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. I'm telling you again, you must not interfere. This is between a man and a woman. What is? Pray that you will stay away forever. Though I know you mean to help me. You are not needed here. I love how she says it. I love her timbre. I love the sound of this piece. So I was between a man and a woman, and I enjoyed that song sonically a lot. Between a man and a woman. That song is going to just stick in my head. I can tell that. I don't remember the songs before as much, like at least lyrics. I feel like this one had a lot of good repetition in that it made it stick in your mind a little more. The song is about someone trying to interfere with a relationship, and she's like, stop, stay out of this. We got it covered. We're gonna figure ourselves out. If you interfere, you're going to make it a lot harder for us to stay together if you want to work out our problems. And I understand that concept of, hey, don't go meddling in relationships. Don't make one of the people in the relationship try to cheat. Don't tempt them or anything like that. Don't take big sides or anything like that. I also, at the same time, I'm like, if there's something really bad going on, please step in. Please help your friends out. No one should be neglected in a relationship. No one should be abused in a relationship. No one should have a lot of bad things happening to them within the relationship because of the relationship. That's just not something that's good. Arguing, having disagreements, having different stances on certain issues, those are things that are naturally bound to happen with two people that are not the same exact person. So, yes, I understand that concept. I read that she got the line from a scene in The Godfather. You know, she watches a lot of movies. It's her choice, it's her right. It is her trademark at this point. I think I have the problem with the title in a way that was just not relevant in 1989 and also not really relevant in the UK. And I think it's because we've specifically had legislation that's like marriage is between a man and a woman, specifically in that exact same terminology. And as a queer person, that doesn't sit right with me. And I know that Kate Bush has always been a staunch advocate for the queer community, so I'm not saying that this is a regressive song by any means. It just is not as progressive as Kashka from Baghdad for its time, or how Running Up That Hill can be a trans anthem. I don't know if Running Up That Hill had anything to do with it, like, originally. It's been adopted as a queer anthem, but I don't think she wrote it like that. Kashka from Baghdad is, like, specifically talking about a queer relationship and how they're happy in a relationship, and there's not really a difference. You see the love that's there. That was something that was doing a lot of good for the queer community. I don't know if Between a Man and a Woman, I don't know if it has any of that connotation. I guess it just feels exclusionary more than anything, of the this is between a man and a woman. You know, you can have platonic disagreements between a man and a woman, and you can also have romantic disagreements that are not between a man and a woman, between a man and a man, a woman and a woman, somewhere in between, someone who doesn't identify with the binary with someone who does identify with the binary, and all the fun little combinations you can come up with. But because of how the song is written, it doesn't feel like it's necessarily regressive, especially if she's taking it from a quote. It feels just more like a sign of those times. And if that song came out today, I might have a few more questions about, like, why are we doing that? Just because of the buzzwords that a lot of homophobes use. Track number 8 is Never Be Mine. And also, I think it's a good time to tell you, I have been listening to the 2018 remaster this whole time. So there is that disclaimer. I look at you and see. Your face looks ghostly. The smell of burning fields. Oh, the cornfields I heard before. The closing goodbye kiss could fool me. You're happy without me? Oh, this is the end of a relationship? This is all I want to be, but I know I'll never be mine. Ooh. Are these the same voices that were in, I think it was Deeper Understanding? So that was Never Be Mine. And that was an interesting song. I felt like it was a little story about someone not for being hers. I thought it could be because they passed away, or that she passed away, or that something happened in a much more final state, but I think it was just a breakup, because they're taking her home and they're burning cornfields. I don't think the love interest per se is burning the cornfields, but they're just driving past where farmers burn the cornfields. And so this area will just remind her of this moment, this ending moment in their relationship. And that's tough. We sometimes have memories to places that are both positive and negative. Placemaking is so interesting because a diner, for example, could be where you have the first date with someone, or it could be where you fought with your lover, or it could just be a place that you went to after being super drunk. Like, you can do different things in the same place, and that all fosters a sense of what is home to you, what is a safe space for you, what is not a safe space for you. Placemaking is so interesting, and especially as someone who's going to be leaving this area, which has become basically my second home. It's definitely hard, and it's definitely something that is a lot. And I think I understand this song a lot because of that opening part about how these cornfields will represent that person and that experience. And the burning fields also could represent, hey, we're ending that farming season. We want to get rid of the pests and extra crop. And sometimes burning for agriculture is helpful, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's an effective way to return nutrients to the soil, sometimes it's not. So just be cautious on that if you are getting into agriculture. Learn what makes sense for your area. Try to do as sustainably as possible. But I deeply related to the idea of this is all you want and you know it will never be yours. And so you have to either lose that want, move on and find something else you want, or just live in that agony forever. I've generally moved in my life towards either other goals or finding the goals I thought were in one person that I could potentially find in another person. For example, if I thought someone was the love of my life and it turns out they're really not the love of my life and they have fundamental reasons why they can't be the love of my life, then I should find that in someone else for sure. So I think I can see that. I don't know, just the placemaking part in particular made this song stick out to me a little bit more than it otherwise might have. Track number 9 is Rocket's Tail. I love that title. I hope I don't regret that. Good morning. It's the biggest rocket I could find. Is this a cappella? I thought you were crazy. I feel like this will fit better in headphones. I feel like there's some panning that just isn't happening on the speaker. Now shoot it into the night. We shot into the night. I had a feeling that could happen. Ooh, this drum set sounds good. Ooh, these vocals. Again, are these the same ones that we've heard in some previous tracks? I like them. But that actually could have been Kate. Yay! So that was Rocket's Tail, and Rocket is apparently one of Kate Bush's cats, or it probably was at this point. Rest in peace, Rocket. I think she's talking about like a rocket, like one that's for fireworks. So you light it up, the tail is lit on fire, and it goes up. It's there being exciting for all of a few seconds, and then it crashes and is gone. And apparently Kate has said that this song is more about living life to the fullest, and it's okay to just enjoy and be excited about the moment. And if that's just what it is, and it leads to you not spending time doing a lot of lengthy or very productive things, then so be it. Whatever. It's definitely within her childhood whimsy. This is her childhood whimsy song for the album. It's the Leave It Open song. It is her song about being so carefree about it. And I feel like this song makes me feel that way. And I think I'm definitely chasing, not necessarily highs of life, but I am going after things that I know are going to make me happy because I deserve to. And I think also just transitioning your focus from buying products that exist to buying experiences that will last memories. Yeah, I like those a lot more. And I think those are better uses of my income. And also, while going to these things, enjoying it fully. When you go to the play, you pay attention to the whole thing. When I went to a concert earlier this week, I not only got to meet the band and go to the Q&A and everything, but during the concert, I also crowd surfed once. It was my first time ever crowd surfing. And I was also, by that point, because of all the people that crowd surfed, I was fairly close. I probably was up in the air for all of like 20 seconds. But it was still like an experience, and that made it feel insanely cool, meeting them, just going out for your things. And I know that not everyone will have that economic ability or may have an accessibility issue with that or some other reason why they don't go out and do the thing. But if you're worried about how you'll look to other people, or you're worried that it's a waste of time and it's not worth it, or you're worried that you should be focusing on other things, no, you should do something that makes you happy. Try to do something that makes you happy every single day if you can. It is hard, and sometimes the thing that makes you happy is making yourself a cup of tea or having a brownie or something like that. Something that's very small and relatively inconsequential at the end of the day. It's your life, and you don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know how short it's going to be. You should have this sense of love for yourself and this passion for seizing the day and living your best life. This year has probably been one of my best years, both in the past like school year era, but also in this 2023 and also the age of 23 as well, because that's how my birthday works. I've overall enjoyed my time more this year than probably ever before. I have fewer accessibility issues in that I have a car. I have a steady income coming in that I didn't have before. I have these things that do make it possible. So money doesn't buy happiness, but money can buy opportunities for happiness. That you can find things that are cheap or free to make you happy, but there are some things like going to see Taylor Swift 6th row that will make me happy, I'm sure. It'll make me feel a lot of emotions, to be honest. So I do really appreciate that Kate Bush keeps that energy and that message alive here. And I definitely will sit with this one. It's a lot, especially with the acapella and then going into that big transition. I want to hear that in headphones for sure. So I don't know how much replay I'll have on it, but I do really appreciate its message and the composition of it too. Track number 10, last track on this album, This Woman's Work. And this one is very much streamed more than any of the other songs on this album, so I am excited to see what we're in for. Oh. Okay, we like a good humming moment. I stand outside. Now his part is over. Oh, is this about like pregnancy? Of the father. Yeah, I think this is about conception. I know you have a lot of strength left. All the things we should have done, but what you never did. Make it go away. What? Oh, this piano is gorgeous. Give me that little kiss. I know you have a little life in you yet. Is that to keep going, or is that you have a little life in you? Oh, she's screaming back there. So that was This Woman's Work. And this song is a gorgeous ballad. It's very sad. Oh my gosh. This song was featured in a movie, and I think it also was written specifically for a sequence in the movie of she's having a baby where the wife is experiencing complications during childbirth. And so it's possible that either the wife or the child will die. And so the man in this situation, this is from his point of view of worrying what's going to happen to the woman I love, what's going to happen to our unborn child. How is it going to turn out? I don't know how the movie ends, so I can't tell you. But this is how the album ends, and it's very sad. She tends to... Is that true? Yeah. Kate Bush did the song Breathing at the end of one of her albums as well, which had to do with children, as well as the song The Kick Inside that also is related to pregnancy. Why does she do that at the end? That's a very interesting thing of like having pregnancy at the end of your thing, as if it's like giving birth to the next era, in almost how Taylor Swift does Begin Again at the end of the standard version of her original version of Red. It's a very interesting trend that Kate does, and it's a very sad song, thinking about all the moments you could have had, wanting everything to go away just so that you could feel at peace and loving your partner once again. And that, I think, goes great back into Rocket's Tale about saying, hey, do these things before you can't. One of the goals that I put every day on my calendar is going against a moment of entropy, which generally speaking is more of do a chore or do a task that wasn't assigned in the schedule, but you know needs to get done at some point sooner rather than later. And so finding that chore is helpful. But also I've decided recently to include in that, if not now, then when. And so doing something now because you don't know when you're going to do it. So I counted crowd surfing as doing that. Is that a chore? No. But if I don't try it now, it's possible in a couple of years I might not physically be able to, or we might be in a situation where we can't really go to those concerts anymore. Something could happen. I've knocked on wood plenty of times in this video entirely, but something could happen. And so it's very important that we take every moment we're given on this planet to do our part to live life to the fullest, help out people as much as we can whenever we can, and also not be bad to people. Don't be rude, don't be violent. Why everyone gotta be messy all the time? It's not hard to not be messy. Okay, it may be hard to be like not messy at all, but you can afford to not be a toxic person. Just somehow, some people just are. But yeah, this song is beautiful. It is something that I don't know if I want to listen to much because it is a very sad thought. And I haven't even seen the movie, but the montage could make me cry. I'm already feeling like I'm tearing up a tiny bit. So it was well written for the piece that it was composed for. With that said, we have finished this album, and I have to say, I am glad that we've included this now in the discography of Kate Bush that we know about. Yes, there is a lot of cool different things. There's a lot of different messages. There's a lot of beats that are just all interesting. I've probably forgotten what Love and Anger sounds like, but I remember I really liking it. And then I also remember Between a Man and a Woman. That was a vibe. Never Be Mine, a vibe. Reaching Out, a vibe. There's some vibey tracks on here that, for those ones that I listed, I can probably listen to generally, and I might actually choose to listen to it more than many other songs from Kate Bush's discography. Kate Bush is an artist that will either make a song that I love and I listen to all the time, or a song that I love its messaging and I can appreciate the art, but it might not be for me. Or she makes a song that I'm like, I don't really know what you were trying to do there. Or I do know what you're trying to do there and I just can't get with it. I am happy to report that Heads Were Dancing is the least streamed track on this album, which makes sense given that she's dancing with literally Hitler. Yeah, I don't really know what you were going for on that one, Kate. Honestly, I get it's like a shock value, but like, you're gonna choose him? Maybe it was based on someone's personal account, but even then, I don't know. I feel like you could have just done this concept of a flirty encounter and not made it about someone who literally was responsible for a genocide. One of the world's most known genocides, too. Taking that track aside, I think she continues to build her stories. I feel like her instrumental components make a lot of sense, and she's being more experimental here in a way that is reminiscent of Hounds of Love. And it's exciting to see how she took more creative control over time with her projects. And while she doesn't have a saga quite like the Ninth Wave here, she does have a lot of interesting songs and a lot of interesting ideas. The first 10-track album, I feel like I listened to like 13 tracks. But no, I listened to 10. They're just very solid. They're very robust. They're very strong with each of them. And while some of them have escaped my mind, it's because it's midnight now and I need to go to bed. Now, this album is a pretty solid one from her and probably one I'm most interested in re-listening to after filming. I don't go back to any of Kate Bush's first 3 albums much at all, aside from maybe Violin or Wuthering Heights. I honestly don't actually remember any song on Lionheart right now, and I feel bad about that. But it was filmed and edited during one of my most busiest times, so I don't remember that month that much. I am excited to listen to Kate Bush more by re-listening to these songs as well as going deeper into her discography. Basically now just her later discography. So anything after this, I think Aerialist exists. I think there's one about snow. There's one with a red slipper or something like that. Let me know if there's any favorites of those that you would like me to check out. I will see what I can do when I can. With that said, here are some of my favorites of the top tier are the songs I love. The standouts, the ones I'm playing over and over again. Songs in the middle are songs I like. I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad song. Doesn't mean it can't be your favorite song. Just means it's not for me. and that's okay. Kate Bush released this album the same year that Taylor Swift was born. And we know I definitely was not alive when Taylor Swift was born. If you like this video, please like it, please comment down below like to react to or do next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the dark and get into my heart. You gotta do your part for a brand new start. Don't it just feel right? Looking in my eyes until we see the light. Dance with me tonight. Think it's pretty.